Ladies and gentlemen, here we are, episode 117, Tornado Tag Podcast. You're going to notice that there's some new faces here, and don't be alarmed. We didn't lose anybody. To completely be transparent of what's going on is we're recording this early. This Friday, you're seeing this on Friday, but unfortunately, we were unable to go live this day because a friend of ours is moving. So we're going to help them move into their new digs, and we were going to take the week off, and some stuff went down. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to take the week off because it's really important to me not to at this point in time. But we'll get into that in a moment. And so we want to say, Brian and Andy are still very much part of this. You're seeing back-to-back kilowatt, which is exciting. I love that. Yeah, he doesn't get on the camera much anymore. But when he does to help out your boy because we're boys. So we want to thank our sponsor, Abaddon Tattoo Studio, a unique professional experience nestled in the small town of Pine Grove, Pennsylvania, and in the big town of Pottsville, Pennsylvania. They provide high-quality tattoos and piercings in a relaxed and professional and sterile environment. You can check the links below to go show them support and show them some love. I'm having some issues as we speak getting into Patreon. Let me see if this works. All right, let's see here. Here it is. We want to thank our Patreon members. Right now, it's only general support, so there's really no bonus content. We are going to start working on that soon. So we want to thank Tommy B, the Tree of Life Metaphysical Shop, Hyrith in Other Words, Jay, and Austin Blackwell. So when you subscribe to our Patreon, that is for the entire network. Now, when I say the entire network, I say the shows that I represent. There is some shows at our network that are ran by other people. The network is just a platform for them to get seen, get heard, but I want to push more people towards their brand. And that's kind of the way I want to do it. So I want to say, go check out the IWEP network. Our link tree is below, and you can support interviews with everyday people. You can support Bangin' Beers, Tornado Tag Podcast, which you're watching. Welcome back. Hyrith in Other Words podcast, Stone and Nerdy, and maybe the return very soon of 2 shows because I said for a while there it was hard for me to do both shows, all the shows, and working night shift. Next week will be my last week on night shift. I got day shift bid, which is very, very exciting, which means more shows, which means more time, which means I can do more things. So I'm very, very excited, and I'm very thankful for everyone being patient during that time. And I know a lot of people were upset the Not Cool in High School and Truth Behind Illusion went away for a while, but they will be coming back. Which we're shooting for is, it won't be right away because there's still some stuff going on that we have to work out. But Mondays are going to be Welcome Back on the network. Tuesdays are going to be switched bi-weekly. It'll be Not Cool in High School one week, Truth Behind the Illusion the other weeks. Somewhere in between there, Hyrith and Stone and Nerdy will jump in. And then we're going to move Tornado Tag from Friday nights to Thursday nights. That's going to start in 2 weeks. And the reason for that is we want to have more guests on, and it's hard to book guests on Fridays because everyone's booked on Fridays. And in this way, this opens up our Fridays to go do some cool stuff because there's a promotion in our area who runs on Saturdays and then Fridays that we will be attending more often, which will be the Sanctuary. So definitely go show them some support and check them out. Yeah. Now, wow, Alex, it's been a real fun 3 years. I started this network with the pure ambitions to just talk wrestling with some friends, just like every other show, and it has evolved into something that was bigger than I can even imagine. It has turned in. So if you're ready for an episode today, this is just a reflection show, a thank you to you, the listener, and there's no topic tonight. We might not even talk wrestling. This is literally, this entire episode is going to be a heartfelt thank you for the most part, and just telling you exactly how much supporting an independent podcast means, and for me to try to express that as best as I can to you, the audience, because I started in this kitchen. It is what it is. It's a kitchen. Our camera angles, our microphones were all garbage. I didn't know what I was doing. I was winging it. People have come, people have gone. Friendships have stayed the same the entire time through. People have left and came back. There's people who support the podcast and do great things like the community pages and social media that aren't even on the microphone, which are super crucial. And we grew this podcast and we got it to a really, really cool spot. And then the time came where I got to start working shows, which was crazy. Like I was getting contacted by shows to, hey, like come in. So then shows like PPW and then shows like Outbreak and then meeting people like Kilowatt who introduced me to people like Johnny Moran and all these other amazing people has turned now this podcast into a platform for me to talk wrestling, but also kind of give you guys some fun inside stuff because I'm doing wrestling commentary now, which is insane to me. It's absolutely insane. I'm doing wrestling production, which I'm helping set up cameras and set up commentary booths so people can experience this from other people. And it's been unbelievable. And it all comes down to doing those shares, buying the merchandise, subscribing to Patreons, sharing our content. It's mind blowing. And as of today, it is Tuesday. It's kind of weird because I somehow became actual friends on Facebook with somebody who I look up to a lot. That's Dave LaGreca. And Dave LaGreca and we don't personally know each other. I just sent a friend request and he took it, which I was like, that's cool. And I'm not the only one. There's a lot of other podcasters who are friends with him personally on Facebook. And he put a post out today because his podcast just hit #1 for wrestling podcasts in the United States. And that's not easy to do, man, because this market's tough, you know. And this is someone who also does a radio show that gets condensed into a podcast that people can enjoy. And he's like, hey, man, it means a lot to me to be ranked #1 over people like Jericho, like Bruce Pritchard, like Tony Schiavone, all these really, really good wrestling podcasts. And he used this website that I used for a while, and I get an alert on my and I actually made a post in his thing. I say, congratulations, man. I hope one day my independent podcast at least breaks the top 100. And literally 2 hours after that post was made, I didn't put my name of my podcast in there. I mean, someone then later on asked me what my name of my podcast is, and we actually made a connection because it's actually another podcast in Pennsylvania in the Nanticoke area, which is not far from me. And he looked at our mutual friends, and it was people like Brad Mayo and Ben Pinhat and all those amazing people. So that's kind of cool because we made a connection on Dave LaGreca's post and realized we're both podcasters right next to each other. So be on the lookout for that collaboration coming up soon. But anyway, I get an alert on my phone that says your podcast has reached 91, and I kind of like seen the alert and I clicked it, and it says your podcast last week peaked at 91 in the United States for a wrestling podcast. And I didn't believe it. I thought it was fake. So I go on Apple and I go on and I look through the list and I get to 91 and I'm not there. I'm like, all right, it's not real because it's the most updated list. I scroll down a little more to top 100. Not there. So I was like, all right, maybe it was just the app was fucking with me. Click the next page. And it goes from like 100 to 150, let's say 150. And there we are. The Tornado Tag podcast ranked 123rd in the United States out of, I mean, it only shows the top 250, but I'm going to almost guarantee there's more than 250 podcasts in the United States about professional wrestling. And to be an independent podcaster who's now in right outside the top 100 means more to me than you guys can imagine. We always say, and podcasters say all the time, leave us a review, share our content, and that means a lot because a lot of people pay a lot of money to get their podcast put really high. And I told myself a long time ago, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to pay money to get fake numbers. I'm not going to go that route. I'm going to work. I'm going to grind. I'm going to make genuine connections with people. I'm going to go to shows. I'm not going to be that guy who taunts my podcast, who puts it out there, who every single conversation I have with someone says, hey, go check out what I do. If it comes up, it comes up. But for the most part, I don't push it. And Alex, he can attest to that.
It's true.
When I'm backstage, when I'm on commentary, unless someone else says you're a podcast guy, I don't even say it. I do every show I do commentary on, I'm Anthony Blackwell, and if the promotion promotes it as the podcast guy, then awesome. But it's not something that's on my forefront. When I'm backstage, I don't say to every single person, here's my podcast. Can I have you on? I think if anything, I offend people that I don't ask them to be on my podcast. And it's not because I don't want you on, is just I don't want to be like every other person who gets an opportunity to be backstage and or be in a locker room. And it seems like the only reason I'm there is to advance what I do. I would love to do that, but that's not my goal. If you're bringing me into your show like a leapfrog, like an outbreak, I want to be part of your team. I want to help your team grow. If people find out I'm a podcaster, so be it. But I don't. My goal isn't to walk into a locker room and tell every single person in the locker room I'm a podcast. Like if I have stickers and I'm really cool with some people, like if I see an Adina or John, like, hey, I got new stickers. Do you guys want them? You know what I mean? Like because they're aware. You know what I mean? I'm not walking up to every single person. Like I met people just recently, and I did with a podcast. I don't even tell them the name of the podcast. I just said, yeah, I'm lucky enough to be here. I've been doing a podcast, and I was asked to be here, and I move on. I don't say the name of it. I don't do any of that. And that meant a lot to me to not coast off of that. And I never really had a big name on the podcast. I just had my friends on, people that I believe in, people who I wanted to get exposure. People, I mean, you're the biggest name I ever had, but I never really chased. I never chased those things. And I've got to work with really pretty up there people, and I just never. It's not that I don't want them on the show. I would 100% would love to interview them and talk to them, but I wanted to make myself known before I do all that. I wanted to go on the merit of what I'm doing and not so much the merit of chasing down a name, put them on my podcast and hope it makes me ranked, as we should say. And everyone told me for a very long time that what you're doing is the exact wrong way. You got to chase the names. You got to ask. You got to get people on. And I wanted to get myself first comfortable as being a podcast host. I wanted to get comfortable being on a podcast. I wanted to get comfortable in my interview skills. I felt like I had to get better. I wanted, like I said, bring on people who are my friends that are also talented and on rosters, because it was easy just to have a conversation with your buddies and then work your way up and get better. So everyone who's been on my show, I'm not saying they're not big names, because in my head they are. I think they're the biggest in the world, and I think they're the best in the world. And I want my friends to be considered on that level. Adinas and Johnnies and Trajans and everyone who I've had on my show, I genuinely think you are an amazing talent, and I think you should be bigger, and that's why I put you on here. But to be ranked at all, but to be ranked as close as we are to the top 100 just on that pure merit means a lot. It truly, truly does. And what made this announcement even cooler is I scrolled down a few more positions of where I'm ranked, and I'm sharing it with my best friends. I'm sharing it with the Kilowatt, and I'm sharing it with Johnny Moran. Ranked at 126 in the world, in North America as a podcast, is Moran and Friends on the High Tension Wrestling Network, and it's surreal. It's almost like I'm doing it with somebody. Like it's not just me doing it, and it's someone. And I haven't even been on that show. I'm announced to be on it later, but like fucking our team, our clique, our friendship, and we're fucking both right there. Like, thank you. There's nothing more I can say to, if you're listening to this, is fucking thank you. Those shares, those reviews, those follows, all that means the world. And the fact that like we're on Twitch, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube. I share this video aspect to more than one platform, which really kills my audio numbers. Where if I force my audience to go to one location, who knows? You know what I mean? Like, and that goes for both of us. Yeah. Moran and Friends is a video podcast you can watch in multiple platforms at the same time. But the fact that we're being recognized for our audio on Apple, even though we're spread so far out across different platforms, really goes to show that we're there because of you, the listener, and this is only beginning. If you're getting us there and now you're aware you got us there, leave reviews, please. Like, you have no idea how much that affects it. Like, I don't even think I really have that many reviews on iTunes. But if you can leave, like,
any.
Actually, I do believe we have one. I'm gonna
So
talk a little bit while
Well, I have a question for you.
Sure, absolutely.
Because it's being acknowledged as a Tornado Tag podcast, does that mean that this is from the distribution account that you only recently created?
Yes. Yeah, this is
an achievement.
This is not from the IWEP network.
Right. So that means that
this is a solo account.
This has happened for you in the span of like 6 months, maybe?
Yes.
Like, if you think about it, that's how quickly you've risen to that, because this is a whole new distribution account.
Yeah. And I want to be honest, when I put that out there that I was going to do that, where I was going to make each podcast its own channel, was really, really, really intimidating to me. Because I was taking a chance on possibly
dropping
tons and tons of listeners, because at the time I was like, man, I'm nervous, I'm not sure if this is a bad move, taking everything off the network and making its own thing, and it ended up being a better thing. Like, we're getting more listens on its actual platform, and people went back and listened to all the back content and really looked at it. So I'm looking at it right now. It says last chart is 817.21, and the peak position this podcast has ever been in is 91. So we broke.
You broke 100.
I broke 100 at some point in time, and I wasn't aware of it, because I'm going to be honest. Like, for a while there, I was looking at numbers, and I wasn't anywhere at all, and it kind of depressed me a little bit. And I was like, man, is this worth it? Should I keep chasing this? Should I keep going? No one seems to actually care, and it was one of those things where it's like, I felt like I was screaming into the void. And then I kind of stepped back, and I had conversations with you and everybody else I work with. And I had to remind myself that you didn't start this to get that. You didn't start this for the acknowledgement. You didn't start it for any of that. And you even said, like, dude, you're going to these places and making a name for yourself. You're going to these places and you're doing really well, and you're making those connections to be on that next level. So I was really down on myself. So this was a win, and this is what I needed. And trust me, this is not waving the checkered flag. We were ranked top 100 in the world. We're ranked 123 right now. We did it. F you guys, we're the top. That's not my approach here at all. This is a driving force to even go higher. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I'm in the game now. I feel like because yous listen to this and yous love it to the point where even on just one platform, Apple, we're even ranked. It's like, fuck it, let's do it somewhere else. Like, the power is up to you, the listener, because I'm not paying to get myself any higher. Where I'm at right now is because you, the listener, got me there. Yeah. So let's keep growing it, and I want to say that we do have 5 rankings on Apple. And every single one of those people gave us a 5-star, which is absolutely amazing. And thank you so, so much. But one person actually left a review, and it says sub, just do it. And it gave a 5-star, and it says, these folks really know wrestling, past, the present, and I love hearing their commentary and analysts. And this is from Dragon Dude 87 via Apple Podcasts, and this was made on 3/4/21. And I apologize that I did not see this sooner. I personally don't use Apple, but I'm going to use this app. If you're a podcaster, download or go on your computer and use Chartable. It's a really cool program that pretty much takes where your podcast is ranked or where it is on all platforms and really gives you a breakdown of what you're doing. Like, I don't use Apple, but it pulls up all my reviews on Apple. It pulls up all that stuff, and it makes it very, very helpful. But yeah, so I want to say thank Dragon Dude 78 once again. I have no idea who you are, but the fact that you gave us a review and wrote something means
obviously Ricky Steamboat.
It's 100% Ricky Steamboat. Like he And I think really bringing the element of Andy and Brian, who know that past stuff, and having those old school topics is fun. And then we get to talk about like the local stuff. It's just, it's crazy. And we change our format so many times. So,
and probably for the best.
Yeah.
It's constantly improving.
But yeah, I was at work. I got VTO tonight. Well, the night that we're recording this, not Friday. And when it popped up, man, like I was trying really hard not to get emotional at work. I felt like I was having a panic attack. My chest was killing me. I was like texting. I was like, I think I'm gonna pass out, my guy. I think I'm like I'm. It. Oh man, God, like you, the listener, have no idea. Like, have no idea how much this means. Truly means. Like, I work night shift, man. 40 hours a week. I barely see my wife. I barely see my friends, my family, and the friends I do see are all wrestling friends and family. Give me a second. Fuck. But yeah, like even this past month, like we drove to Philly and Jersey twice. I have to get new car. Like I have like my beating the shit out of my car, and I'm doing it once again, not promoting what I do. I'm just doing it to be part of a locker room, to be part of this, to kind of hopefully one person says, "Oh, you're the podcast guy," you know what I mean, and just make those connections, and in the future get these guests. So if we're getting ranked here, like it's going to be a lot easier to get some names in the podcast because the more we're ranked and the higher we are and the more exposure we have, more people are going to want to be on this show. And I feel like I'm going to give a different type of interview. I feel like I'm going to do something different than everybody else. I feel like I have a different interview style. I'm more laid back. I don't know, like, but just fucking, dude, like this week, like I get off Thursday night. I wake up on a Friday. 9 times out of 10, I have to wake up with literally 2 to 3 hours of sleep to drive 8 hours somewhere to help do a show, and I'm literally flipping my entire sleep schedule for a weekend, then trying to flip it back on a Sunday to go back to work on a night, and I'm like every day I'm just like getting booked to do commentary and getting booked to do this, getting booked to do that, and I'm doing it just for the sole purpose of people being like, hey, this guy works his ass off and he also does a podcast, and it like I was exhausted after this weekend. Like Alex could tell you, I was at Sanctuary. I was fucking tired. I could barely keep my eyes open. I'm on little to no sleep. I'm fucking, and then Brian, who fucking doing the same thing with me. Like my team is there, just fucking killing themselves just to do this. And it's not just me; it's myself. It's everyone's making sacrifices here. And for you to just get us to where we are now, even if it never happens again, fucking thank you. Seriously. Do you have anything to say about? I mean, your network's right there with it.
I mean, it's, we're doing things, man. I will say I just looked. Moran and Friends peak position has been 113.
Wow, there you go. So like, it's fucking awesome. Like,
yeah, and the Jim Cornette Experience peak position 98. So hey,
really?
Yeah, I mean, the last time that was charted was 2019, but still.
So we're right there with a Jim Cornette. Like Jim Cornette, I'm sure doesn't edit his own shit. I'm sure he doesn't produce his own stuff. Like we do that ourselves. We don't have money to hire producers or publicists who can put our podcast out there and make it exposed. Like this is the purest of pure. This is independent podcasting. And Can Crushers is on that list of 250. So is the Nerds of Wrestling is on there, ranked in the 250. And there's so many more talented people that are on that could be on this list as well, and they probably will be because they're really good at what they do. But this is like, I guess what the overall arc here is, it really comes down to you, the listener. If you truly like us and you truly feel that we should be doing things, like you're killing it by leaving those reviews, by sharing our content, by subscribing to us on YouTube and Facebook. But if you do listen to this video, if you're watching this live on YouTube, if you're watching this live on Facebook, download an app. I don't care if you're an app. It doesn't have to be an Apple user. If you're using Spotify, if you don't have any of those and you just download a podcast app, just give us that sub, give us that follow. Sometimes maybe if you're like driving, like, hey, I'm not going to watch the video. I know you really like to see our faces, but just the audio side of things is really, really what pushes the podcast platforms. And
absolutely.
And yeah, it's important. It really is. And it's crazy.
I'll be honest, to this point, like I didn't value audio at all. And well, you know this.
So can I pull the curtain?
You can put it all out there, dude. I'm transparent.
Fucking guy, right? And Moran, I don't want to be that guy, but I'm taking fucking credit for your 126, 113 peak, because I hound Alex. I'm like, yo, put the fucking audio up so I can listen to it at work. And I'm not the only one who thinks that, because Alex has not been on the ball for a while putting that audio up, especially for season 2. And he dropped them all the other day, and
Yeah, well, now, as of this afternoon, they're up to date.
they're up to date because I said to him, I said, "Hey, dickhead, you're fucking charting on Apple. There's value to this audio source." I wanted to possibly have Moran on tonight, but he has to wake up very early tomorrow, so we couldn't do it. But I'm sure his sentiment to everybody is thank you as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy, man. It's fucking crazy, and it's gonna make that episode of us on Moran and Friends even more special now.
Yeah, well, you know what's crazy is we got a lot of cool things coming up. A couple secret projects, which one being a Miranda Friends secret project.
Yeah.
And then we got a secret project in New York, buddy, which may only further this ranking situation we have, hopefully. But if not, a lot more people will know about it. So get those stickers ready because they about to find out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For sure.
When I buy those stickers, I literally buy that with Patreon money and people who buy merchandise. So when you buy that stuff, that's just literally me buying stickers and stuff like that just to give them all away again. Because because the money, I really haven't made enough money to buy equipment. I just buy that all with my own personal money or collective money between me and my wife, who's been an amazing support, and I want to thank for this whole journey as well, because if I didn't have her in my corner letting me go be with my wrestling friends on weekends instead of spending time with her,
right,
this wouldn't have happened either. So I messaged her right away. I said, "Yo, you're not gonna fucking believe this." And this is literally something I've been dreaming and manifesting and thinking about. Like, what if I'm at work one day and fucking it just that internet spark hits, and that internet spark hasn't hit really. I mean, for the most part, it's just hit on Apple, and that's a great start. There's tons of podcasts right now who aren't ranked, who are probably listening like, man, how the fuck do I get there? And when they get it, they're gonna feel the same way I feel. They're gonna get emotional. They're gonna be happy. So it's crazy. It's so crazy. I don't know. I have nothing. I don't really know what else to say here, but yeah. Do you have any more questions or anything you want to
talk about? Yeah, man. Like, just it's just how did I? Okay, so my brain is like mush.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't know I don't know where to go.
How long have we known each other? Like when did we, like, I know when we met, but like I don't know like when, like how long ago has it been now, man?
It has to be at least 2.5 years, because I was only probably in the podcasting game maybe a year, not even a full year, when I first came to PPW and seen you.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the time we actually sat down and talked and met and didn't have that weird invisible barrier that we have, like podcasters have, where it's like, oh, should I approach him? Like meeting you, I don't have that. Like I like meeting you and realizing how important it is to connect and network with not just at a wrestling show. So here's the thing. I still go to wrestling shows and I meet podcast people and I'm like, oh, you're a podcast? Like, me too. And they give me that look like, fuck you. You know what I mean? Like,
fuck you.
It happens. Dude, I'm not gonna lie, it happens. Where they think competition, and
Sure.
Meeting you at such an early age of my podcast career, I learned, don't fucking do that, because you have no idea if you hitch a horse to one another and you're doing your thing and I'm doing mine, but we can work together and meet down the middle. This is what this fucking makes. You know what I'm saying? Like, for how happy I am for where I am in the charts, you're fucking 3 spots below me, and it wasn't even intended that way. That just shows you fucking linking up and being like-minded is going to get you there.
I agree, man.
And when all you're trying to do is the name chase and clout chase and fucking not being a team player and not wanting to work with people,
hey man, I started there. I started with that. Like, I didn't understand podcasting. I didn't understand any of that. Like, all I understood was like, hey, I used to do theater. I used to like act. I used to, do some directing, and then I did nothing for a very long time. And then I'm like, all right, like, I saw an opportunity, and this is my story. Saw that opportunity to maybe get in on interviewing a celebrity, did that, and then I'm like, oh, this is what's going to make us big. So I'm going to spend all this money, and I'm going to Interview celebrities, or at least celebrities in the wrestling world, and break in there. No, it doesn't do anything for you. It really doesn't. Like, because the only way that makes any real money is if you already have an established name. If you have, because that's what people are buying. You know what I mean? Like you need to like really know Twitter to get those hashtags to pop.
Yeah.
It's just not the way to do it, man. Just invest in yourself, and then like if you have people like yourself and me, like invest in each other.
Mhm.
You know, like it's just
because people who are reoccurring listeners to your show, at least if I'm wrong, please tell me in the comments, message me, email us. I feel like you're invested in us as people, and then it's a perk to hear you as an interviewer listen to the interview. Like,
yeah.
I don't go and click on a Chris Van Fleet episode or a Renee Paquette podcast because it has one person's name on it, and I only want to hear their name. Because if that's the case, like, I'm the interviewer is what intrigues me of how they are with that person.
Yeah.
And I kind of think that's what it comes down to. So if you're just chasing a name and you think people are going to tune in because they want to hear your interview with that name,
Right.
hey,
Like if you're a fan of that celebrity and you really want to hear their story, maybe you will. But say they're on a couple different podcasts, how do you choose?
yeah.
By the interviewer you know and you respect.
And listen, if you pay for big names, this is not a knock on you at all, because listen, they're cool fucking experiences that no one's ever going to take away from you, that you got to talk to these people who hit a level that you're trying to get to, and you'll probably get there. But it's just, I tried to I mean, both of us really went that route where it's like, no, let's invest in ourselves and make ourselves something and see if the audience will buy into us first before we go and try to latch on, or I guess the term for the young crowd is clout chase, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that one of the most surreal moments, and I'm sure you've had this, right? And if you haven't, you will. When you're just randomly like, I'm just a regular person, dude. Like, I don't think I have this platform. Like, I guess I do, but when I'm out in public at a show, most typically, and somebody comes up to me and is like, "Oh, hey, man, dude, you know, I love this thing about you," or like this thing that you did, or referencing something that happened online or in a show, and I'm just like, "You saw that?" Or like, "You follow what I, you know, like you." I'm just flabbergasted and stunned,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, "All right, well, that's a little weird."
So yeah, it happened to me a few times, and each time I thank them, and this is, I'm being completely honest. I thank them, and then I go into the bathroom, and then I have a little moment. I'm not saying I cry sometimes, but
Yeah,
it means a lot. It truly does. When someone comes up to me and they're like, "Hey," or when someone I'm at, like it happened this weekend at PBW. I was there, and someone from who paid a front row ticket. I walk out to kind of put my notebook on the desk, and people were like, "Tony, what's going on, man? I love the podcast." And I was like, "Fuck, holy shit!" Like that. Like, I'm
yeah,
literally at a show where Jillian Hall, Mojo Rawley, and the Dark Order and Alpha Junior are there, and someone's like, "Tony, I listen to your podcast." You know what I mean? Like, that they even took a second of their energy to even acknowledge that I was there. It means a lot, because I feel like at a lot of these shows, I have imposter syndrome. I'm going to be completely honest, where I feel like I don't belong there. I feel like I'm like, what am I doing here? Anyone can have this seat. And then a part of me thinks it's because I put the work in, and I think the right people seen that I'm putting that work in. And because let's be honest, like commentary, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Johnny believed in me and put my name out there. Scott believed in me and put my name out there. You
yeah,
know, um, you believed in me and put my name out there. Like, I wouldn't be at these locations doing this if it wasn't for people like believing in your hard work and being like, "Yo, this person is more than just, he's not a veteran at what he does, but he fucking believes in what he does, and he's a good
yeah.
human." It's awesome, man. Yeah.
It's amazing. You know, I love you, buddy.
I love you too, man. This is nuts. It's fucking nuts.
That's really cool, man.
If you are a podcaster, I do have a group page called the Elite Podcasters and Independent News. If you're a podcaster, if you're someone who listens to podcasts, if you're someone who's listening to this and felt inspired, please support people you care about, even if it's not this podcast. So find who you support and just support them, because, like, I have a buddy, well, a few buddies who are in a band, and they have torn the world 3 times. They have played on set lists that they fucking dreamed of being on. And the reason they even got signed is because someone believed in them, went to a show, filmed their set list, and sent it to a music company without even telling them. Just did it. Like you have the power to make a tweet, to share a post, to
Facts.
write a review, and change someone's life. You truly, truly do. And I know this is small. I know it's only 123, but I'm telling you right now, you've changed my I'm humbled by this. Like I'm not saying I wasn't humble before, but like thank you. Like I can't stress it enough. Thank you. And I want to get to the point where I have an audience and I have an influence where people listen to me and they trust me as a host, that I can bring other podcasters on and be like, I believe in this person, listen to their content, you know? But yeah,
Absolutely.
we have that community page, the Elite Podcasters in Indie News on Facebook. Please join it. There's tons of really talented podcasters on there who share their content all the time. I would really like to encourage the people who post their content on there to don't just think it as a place to dump your content and never show up on it, because that's kind of happening, as well as our community page happens to all the time. I reached out to a gentleman today. I'm not going to say his name, but I said, hey, can I post on your page? And he says, absolutely not. You're a podcaster. And then proceeded to share all his stuff on my page. Decline. Said, hey, man, it's got to go both ways. If I'm going to work with you, it's got to go both ways. And I said, but here's this platform. You can share all your stuff. But it has to go 2 ways. Like if you're going to be in this group, you have to be willing to support others. It's not just, hey, I'm going to dump my interview on there and I'm dump my content and I don't give a fuck what this page happens with this page. Because I'm telling you right now, as someone who's tried that for 2 years, it doesn't work. If you just go on a Reddit page or if you go on someone's community and you just dump a video on it, but you don't engage in it, and I'm still guilty of it. There's a lot of places I dump my content and I'm not engaged on it, and I have to get better at that. But it's very, very hard to try to engage on working a night shift schedule. But you're going to benefit more if people in that group find out who you are and get used to you, then you dump your content. Yeah. So like I said, I'm kind of a hypocrite in that, and I'm going to be honest, because there's a lot of places I do that with that I should be engaging more.
So we talk a lot about like community and support and podcasters supporting podcasters. Yeah. So this is a portion of the show where I'm going to just go ahead and name some of my the people I notice.
Oh yeah,
let's
do it.
The people who also show us support, and I feel like we show them support as well. One being Bob Culture,
#1, guaranteed all day long. Love that guy.
Queen of the Indies.
Yes, Tiffany.
Big fan. Got to finally meet her in person. The same day I got to meet Bob Culture in person. It was really cool.
There was somebody else at that show I met that day that means a lot to me as well.
Not quite sure who that is.
The Brotherly Love podcast. Got to meet them that day.
Now I feel bad. They only sponsor Leapfrog. But yeah, no, big fans of them too. That was cool. They actually also bought these shirts.
Nice.
No, very, very good dudes, man. Very, very, very supportive. Yeah, even like the 2300 podcast, always supportive. Good dudes. That's about all the podcasts I can retain in my brain.
I'll throw a few more out there. The Bald Monkeys Wrestling Podcast,
man,
which also has a sub show on there of Val Pancakes, who does interviews. Love them to death. Very, very supportive. You stole one of mine with Bob Culture. Love that guy to death. Yeah. Got some cool stuff coming up with Bob soon. I hope he's able to make it.
Yes.
Yeah. Brotherly Love Wrestling. Can Crushers Podcast, another one who I got to meet through Camp Leapfrog. Being sponsors, really good people. Speaking
of sponsors, going to throw out the VSW podcast.
Yeah. There's so many. What's the one Andy was just on the MLW network? I'm trying to find it on my list of podcasts.
Speaking of MLW network, I don't know if they're still on there. Mikey Whipwreck and Jerry Lynn used to have a podcast. They still do. Called the Front Row Material, FRM Pod. They actually have been reaching out. They want to get involved with Camp Leapfrog.
Perfect.
You may hear Chris Levin on their show at some point. Darius Carter's been on their show. So little
Yeah.
shout out to them.
I got one or two more here. Rap and Wrestle is a really good wrestling podcast I like to listen to. The No Holds Bar Network is another podcast network that's really, really good. And Nerds of Wrestling is a really good one too. They do a lot of good work. Definitely go check them out. And if you want to check out more on Alex's network, the High Tension Wrestling Network, go check out Tommy Talks Tape, which is a great show. That's a video only. That's not audio.
Yeah, it just wouldn't translate.
And Moran and Friends. And the Sambo Show, who just debuted on AEW Dark tonight.
That's right.
On this week. I keep forgetting that it's going to be pre-recorded.
3 days ago.
Yeah. Do you want to come say anything, Heidi? Come here quick. No, seriously, come here.
Yeah, come put me over.
You're fine. Come here. Come here. You're fine. You're beautiful. Sit down. Sit down
beautiful.
Real quick. You're beautiful to me. Oh, look at this. Look at this came in.
Yo, dope shirt.
That is the 30 feet of HDMI for our production.
Some HDMI for H2O.
And then this is a XLR to 3.5 millimeters. So when we go to places like H2O and we work with a certain wrestling company and they only have 2 microphones, I can bring my board, plug these into my board, have 9 microphones if I want it, and plug this into their hard cam.
Me like you.
You like that thinking right there. Here, grab this real quick.
Join the party.
Because I want to interview you real quick. I want to interview you.
This one doesn't read.
Yeah, you're stuck on chairs.
No, I'm not. It's around the thing.
How?
You put it around that thing.
Oh, fix that. Yeah. Sorry, we're doing it live. Is that what it was? It's probably Andy. He's fired. He swapped my headphones.
All right. Question number 1.
Do you have a question for Heidi before I have one?
I do.
Okay. What's your question for Heidi?
All right. Question number 1. When did you know that your boy here is a freaking superstar?
Holy shit.
I'm still figuring that out.
She's still figuring it out.
All right. Show her the list. Hashtag thick.
There it is. That's what it is. No, I really got kind of emotional earlier because I don't think a lot of people know when it comes to making content how important it is to try to balance life and balance relationships and balance family and balance all that. And you make huge sacrifices of never seeing each other because I'm always out doing things, and you're making sure the bills are paid and maybe not taking stuff for yourself to go buy things for yourself because you know that I need cables or I need a new camera or I need this, and you help pay for those things and facilitate me because you believe in my dream. What does it mean now when I message you that we are even getting acknowledgement at this level, and like that compared to never seeing each other? Like, how does that balance?
I don't like when you put me on the spot.
Just talk from the heart.
I don't know. I mean, I'm proud of you. I feel like it's good. All your work is paying off. It's worth it. You're happy.
Do you get bummed at all that we don't see each other?
Sometimes, but I mean, we see each other sometimes.
Yeah, we do, like the hi in the hallway. I'm going to Philly now. Bye. Kiss you. Bye-bye.
Yeah. It's okay. You're doing what you love.
There it is.
Makes me happy.
Yeah. Not many women in people's life. That's the make or break. I truly feel like when people are getting in a committed relationship and they're like, hey, I want to do this. And they're like, no, I want you to spend time with me. And sometimes that's where dreams fall short. Or when someone tells you, hey, grow up or be responsible, or hey, fucking, this is a pipe dream. What are you chasing this for? We got bills to pay. And there's been times where we sacrificed a bill here or there to make sure we have cables for a show, or and
feel that.
And then
you always figure it out. And
then that cable is the reason why we're able to record a show and put it out on IWTV for people to see. I get my, not really my balls busted, but they're like, fucking the Tony Blackwell production team's here. He's got something for everybody, and it comes in clutch and it helps shows look good.
Oh, yeah.
And all that is because of the person on my left here, because I have that support. I have that person who's in my corner and believing in me. And I want to thank you. Thank you so much. I seriously would not be able to do it without people like I'd probably talk to Alex more than I talk to you. You're like, you're with
You
Alex
do.
again.
You definitely talk to him more than talk to
Stop.
There's been times where I came home from work at 3 a.m. and she's just getting up for work and I'm still on the phone with Alex.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
You're like, what the it's 7 a.m. Let him sleep. So we're cooking up ideas.
That's right.
cooking up ideas.
But
Oh, Ed.
what is your you're we're gonna be changing some stuff up here on the t-shirt you're wearing, Not Cool in High School. So that's coming back soon. You excited?
I am.
What are some things you want to bring to the table?
I don't know, because I'm still like trying to figure out how to be good, like here on the spot. Like I get real nervous and I don't know what to say, and I feel like I don't say enough, and I'm just sitting. Like,
Or sometimes
yeah.
you have conversations that
or have side conversations like
on the
that,
microphone.
talking about
Well, yeah.
I will say sometimes that's why I get like intimidated if I'm on like one of your shows. It's like a full panel of people. I'm just like, I'm remotely just sitting here fucking quiet, and I'm like, everybody's just looking at my stupid face.
And then I like throw it to you like, hey, you've been sitting there quiet for a while.
Like,
I don't know what to say when you guys start talking about stuff I don't know about, and I'm just like,
Well, you've been doing cool stuff with Not Cool in High School's social media pages. You've been posting movie reviews.
Well, I did it like once. I did like 20 in a day.
But I mean, you
Yeah.
just changed your work schedule. So
yeah.
So here, this is funny for the behind the curtain. I've been night shift now since probably last holiday, like around November, and you were day shift, and then so we didn't see each other during the week at all.
Right, and then the weekends would come and you did all the shows, or you're away.
Yeah, and then we would never see each other.
Yep.
And now I finally get day shift, and you take a new job and go night shift. So we're never gonna see each other again. But the way it works out is she works like a 2 on 2 off, 3 off, like a 3 days off, then work 3 days in a row. And the way it works is like, so say if she works Monday, Tuesday this week, off Wednesday, Thursday, works Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the following week she's like, so it's like, but you can kind of
off every other weekend.
Yeah, off every other weekend. So the way Not Cool in High School is going to work is every other week we're going to switch between Not Cool in High School and Truth Behind Illusion. So every Tuesday she's off, we're going to get to hang out and bond, but also podcast together.
Yeah.
It's gonna be exciting. I want to do an interview show with her on Interviews with Everyday People, just to kind of talk about like how we met and stuff. I think that'd be fun for people.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. And we can like
our great love story.
Our notebook inspired love story and my amazing proposal.
Oh, shut up.
Oh, it's a lot.
We had our first kiss during the Notebook.
That's gross.
It's kind of a sad movie for that, but okay.
Yeah.
The book,
right as they're dying at the end, like
right at the end.
That's
that's one where I actually read the book after the movie, and I didn't like the book as much.
Yeah.
Like, spoiler alert, they don't die in the book.
Oh, really?
The end of the book where they die in the movie, like they're having sex. I don't want to think about old people having sex.
So in the book they die having sex?
No, they don't die. They're just having sex, like at the end.
Oh.
And in the movie they die.
And she doesn't remember it.
I don't know. They don't get that far. I didn't read the next. I don't know.
What the hell?
I don't know. It's such.
It just ruins everything.
Yeah.
Could you imagine like you
like
sneak into your wife who has dementia and she's like, "Oh my god, I remember you, Noah," and
then
like
she forgets you like halfway through.
That's embarrassing.
That's right.
I just don't want to think about old people having sex, though.
I mean, is it?
Awkward.
I would say it is.
I mean, kind of is.
It'd be super awkward.
Yeah. And then like that. I mean, obviously for the guy, it's super sad because he's like losing his wife mentally and
yeah.
And gets the ball.
And Jesus Christ, both these are fucking savages. I'm trying to have a moment here. And, yeah. So if you're listening to this, and we did our network plug, but that's a little ad read in the beginning for Not Cool in High School, where we talk pop culture. And if you're a professional wrestling fan and you love Andy Header, it'll be myself, Andy Header, and Heidi coming up very, very soon, every other Tuesday on Not Cool in High School podcast. Very exciting. I kind of try to keep these shows now kind of like we do commentary. I think when you do more than 4 people on a microphone or more than 3, you're pushing it because there's too much. It's hard to get everyone's stuff in. Look at that hat. I bought him that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was with you when you bought it.
Yeah, you were there. You were there in San Diego. I have the same
Enjoy
hat.
it for a second time.
Yeah. You left a sticker on it?
Oh, I don't know. That's what all the cool kids do, I guess.
No, take that sticker off. That's silly.
I kind of like it now.
Okay. I mean, you can leave it there, but I think it's silly.
I finally have something to put my my pins on. So I have my still life with apricots and pears.
I ordered that. I still haven't gotten it.
My still life with apricots and pins.
Yeah.
Stupid.
So yeah, like I said, we have a lot of really cool stuff coming for the network. I'm gonna work really, really hard. This isn't the end. I want to hopefully get our other shows ranked
If you
too.
stopped right now,
Yeah, we just quit.
I think
It's
I'd kill you.
I got ranked. We're done.
Yeah.
See you guys.
See you later. It's been
That's
real,
all, folks.
Quit at the top of the 130, 125 division.
I peaked at 91.
I peaked at 91, and we're the best we're ever gonna get. See you later. No, I'm gonna work really hard. I really want to make not just this show, but all of them a thing. So if you are into like ghost cryptids and spooky stuff, go check out Truth Behind Illusion on the network. If you're into pop culture, comic books, and stuff like that, check out either Not Cool in High School or Stoned and Nerdy. Stoned and Nerdy might be changing up a little bit. He may have a co-host coming up soon. Spoiler alert, might be me.
Oh.
Yeah, he said he doing it by himself is kind of hard to try to talk. It is. I could imagine doing a solo show. People who do it, if you're able to pull it off, you're amazing.
I don't think I could do something like that.
Yeah. Also, Bangin' Beers podcast. I'm drinking a beer now in celebration, so check that out. And actually, this brewery I'm drinking is from the North Brewing Company, and they're also huge professional wrestling fans. So go support them. And then we have interviews with everyday people that's going to come back very, very soon now that I'm first shift. And that's going to change a lot too. No offense to past guests. I'm not, when I say this, I'm not saying about every guest, but I've had a lot of guests who wanted to come on and promote things that they were doing. And then after the show was over, they didn't care. They were just like, cool, I got your audience. I'm not going to share your content. I don't care. Like, it's not that I'm saying they didn't care, but it was tough. You know, I go out and I support a lot of people. I buy your merch, I buy your things, and then you come on and then I can't get anything in return. Cool. You know, it doesn't even cost anything to hit a share button, but, or even to like acknowledge you were here. So I don't want to, I'm not saying I don't want to, and I'm not saying I'm going to close the door on people who are musicians or are people of businesses, but like, if you've never listened to my show and you're like, can I be on it? I'm probably not going to book you. I'm just going to be honest. Like I really, it's going to be, I'm kind of going to do like the Rogan thing. Like I'm going to have you on the show if I'm genuinely interested in you. So I'm going to start reaching out to people instead of waiting for people to reach out to me. And a lot of them might not be interviews. I might just have like my wife or Kilowatt on 4 times a week. I don't care. Like I legit want to have conversations with people and on topics that's going on in the world or things like that. Like I want to broaden my horizons and just have general conversations with people who care about the product, but also people that I care about. So this way, if I interview somebody and they don't share it, it's on me because it, you know, I reached out to that person. So that's kind of where interviews are going to go.
Well, who cares about us?
Huh? I care about you. That's why you're going to be on the show. So if you're on my show and they're coming up in the future, it's because I wanted you to be there. Yeah. And if you reach out, I may still probably have you on because you may say something that intrigues me that I want to learn about you for. But it's not going to, there's a lot of people I've had in the show that I didn't know anything about, and they came on and we had I felt great conversation. Then after it was said and done, like they never mentioned that they ever did it ever again. And I was like, that kind of stings, you know? But if I was ranked in the top 123, they'd be super excited they were on that podcast.
I'll be honest. There's only one of your podcasts I was on that I won't promote.
Why is that?
It shamed my my teachers. I just
Oh, yeah. So he was on interviews with everyday people and told a very embarrassing story. I don't even know why he told it.
Because you like lull you people into like this false sense of like, I'll say anything.
I did not ask anything like that. And you just gave it.
You gave me vibes, man.
Yeah, he told a really crazy story. And we'll just say had to deal with someone's back end and a fist.
Oh, goody.
It wasn't him doing it. It was other people doing it to this person. Okay. And he found out and then ended the relationship because he's like, well, I wasn't prepared for that. That was your weekend when we weren't together? Crazy.
Oh, she was prepared for it.
She was prepared. I hope you were prepared. That's an embarkment. Yeah. But he told us on the podcast in the story, and out of the clear blue, what like your like fifth grade teacher?
My 8th grade like English teacher, she's like, hey, fisting aside, it's a really great story. Yeah, great interview.
For me, it was a highlight. That's almost like hitting 123 Tornado Podcast, was having your 8th grade English teacher comment about your fisting story on my comment thread. Made my day. It was really funny.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So interviews is not Tornado Tag's not my only podcast that charted. Not the only podcast that sharded.
That was me at the sanctuary. Sharp.
Oh yeah, how did that go for you?
Yeah, no, I definitely did.
Yeah.
Nice little Hershey present for me. I was like, oh, yep, no, that did happen. I was right. It wasn't butt sweat.
You have to stop holding those in, my guy.
Listen, man.
Well, maybe he should have held that one in. That's probably
no. The
why.
problem is he's like Finch in American Pie, where he won't use the bathroom at places.
No.
And we're eventually going to have
I've given up on that because sometimes you can't help it.
Yeah, we're eventually going to have to like give him laxatives to use the bathroom
before you go.
No, definitely don't do that.
So he has to use the bathroom in a location, and then he'll break that fear.
That's not how it works.
It's not a fear, man. It's just like a preference.
Yeah.
I just got really loud with you. I'm sorry.
You got real. You're like, don't do that.
All right. So Interviews with Everyday People is currently ranked 159.
Wow.
It has gone down 11 spots because I haven't put any episodes out in a long time. I have that in under personal journals category. I didn't know really where to put it. I'm sure like the other shows would be good if I put them in the right categories too. So I have to like really fine tune those categories.
So what kind of shows are in the top echelon of those? Like, is that like a Rogan? Like, are you in that same category?
Well, the problem with this one is I'm not ranked in America on this podcast.
Oh no.
Yes. This podcast, I am ranked 149 in personal journals, 159 in personal journals.
Does it say Guatemala?
In Guatemala.
Very interesting.
Yeah. So I'm killing it in Guatemala.
That's pretty cool.
Guatemala. Congratulations. Or,
thank you.
As the Guatemalans say, I have no clue.
As the Guatemalans say, congratulations. They say it the exact same way.
Do you know that for a fact?
No, I don't know that at all.
I mean, I think maybe in like.
I want to look up who is what type of personal journals. Where are we at here? Personal journals. Oh yeah, I'm probably don't belong in this category at all.
There's like Anne Frank in there and shit.
It's called American Life. Essential is the number one. American Life is the number one. American Life.
That's like all of them. The whole list is This American Life.
Well, they're ranking it by episodes right now, not by actual podcasts.
Those Guatemalans are really into American Life.
Like they're all This American Life.
Well, no, I'm under America now.
Oh.
Yeah, I went to America to see like what's the most listened to American journal. Like,
like the first 8 are This American Life.
Yeah. All right, cool. Yeah, I'm learning.
Cool beans.
Learning some stuff here. Do you have any other questions or anything you want to say before we wrap this up, Kilowatt?
Not necessarily, no.
No questions for Heidi that you want to throw at her?
I have nothing.
Nothing. Do you have any questions, statements you want to make?
No.
About this 3-year journey of this network so far?
It's been intense.
Like intense, like camping? Why? What's intense?
Oh, I get it.
What's been intense about it?
It's just been a lot.
In which way?
Everything.
You're on it.
You're so busy. I don't have a kitchen table.
You don't have a kitchen.
It's literally getting worse. Like he's getting busier.
Yeah. Which is good. That means it's supposed to get busier. That's good.
The only thing she freaks out is like when I'm on 3 hours of sleep when I drive to Jersey.
Yeah, that makes me
And then
nervous.
while I'm in Jersey, I have an anxiety attack as well as a heat stroke. And then drive home.
Let's use your podcast as a personal ad. If anybody wants to help me get a car for like on the cheap, I'll start driving this guy. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, that happened. So here's what I found out. I thought I was having heat issues because I don't sweat so on top of my joint disorder, I also have this thing where I don't sweat and I overheat.
Mhm.
And then when I overheat, I vomit and then I pass out, which is great.
It's gnarly as hell.
But then I
Okay.
also realized I kind of looked up this. I WebMD'd myself, so this is self-diagnosed. This is
Don't
not.
do
This
that.
is not doctored.
That's a bad idea.
But I've been having this thing lately too, where like
I
I'll
have
be at
AIDS.
yeah, I'll be out somewhere and I feel like my entire body goes in pins and needles, and then I feel like I'm gonna pass out, and then I feel like I'm having a heart attack, where like my chest really really hurts, and then I get super lightheaded, and then I panic. Like in my brain, I'm panicking, and that's
Anxiety.
and that I haven't I've been really really struggling with anxiety attacks, and I didn't know I was having them.
What's crazy is like you will get that. It's a mystery sometimes. It can happen when you're having the best period of
Mhm.
your life.
So my first one I had was during the Hamburg Fieldhouse.
Understandable.
I didn't realize, like I was so nervous. Like I had to go sit in the car by myself. I had to like close my eyes. I had to meditate. I had to calm myself down. And then it happened again, Leapfrog Live, like during the
I don't
commentary.
understand that one. Man.
During commentary, like I was standing there and I had to I literally thought I was gonna pass out. Like I was like I'm gonna pass out.
You're always like moving. You're always on the go. So then like it doesn't hit you.
No,
it just hits you like randomly because you don't have time to like process everything.
I think that's what it is. I think I don't process things. And I also think that I really, really want to do a good job because I do put a lot of time and effort into this. And I realize that I'm so new at this. And on top of the imposter syndrome where I feel like I don't belong there. So I have to work extra hard for people to like me. You know what I mean? And enjoy what I do. And then like, if I feel like I could fuck up, then the anxiety attack kicks in, and then I'm literally standing next to like people I idolize doing commentary, and I'm like, I'm gonna pass out right next to them. And the crazy thing is, I don't want to say where this happened, but I watched someone pass out live in person, and it really freaked me out. And so I think every time I start going through my anxiety attack, that hits me first, is watching that person pass out. And I'm standing there like, and I try to stay, because I'm also someone who, as an athlete, like when I would have my heat problems and I'd have those things, I would stay in the pocket as long as I possibly can and just swing my fist like I was in a fight. Like, so I'm doing a metaphor, like where I'm just
Did you
swinging.
just call yourself an athlete?
Yeah, I used to be back in the day. But like metaphorically speaking, where like if you're a boxer and you feel like you're about to get knocked out and you just kind of tuck your chin, bite your mouthpiece as hard as you can and swing for the fences and hope to God you knock the other person out. And if you get knocked out, you get knocked out. So when I start feeling that panic attack hitting, instead of removing myself from the situation and collecting myself, I just bite down and go for it. You know what I mean? And either I get through it or or I'll pass out. I don't know. I have yet to pass out in front of people.
Well,
but when I get to the point where I feel like I have had too much, that's when I step away and I go sit in my car. And that honestly happened to me during IWTV 100. So if Brian, thank you, Brian, for fucking running the music. Because this is literally you're the literally first two people that I'm telling that this is a thing for me. Because I don't like telling things like this because I feel like I'm weak.
Yeah, but it happens to all of us.
Yeah. Well, so you should tell people these things because like that way they can be aware of it.
I kind of told. So here's the thing. I was telling people that it was more of a heat thing because I thought I would be less embarrassing telling people that I was just tired and I didn't have anything to eat or drink all day, but I was drinking and eating before I got there. So I was telling people that's what it might be. So go check on me in 20 minutes. I'm going to go out to my car.
Yeah, you told me to call you and then you weren't answering the phone.
Because I passed out.
So I thought you legit passed out.
Well, I did pass out, but I closed my eyes and I just kind of like drifted away for a few minutes. But like I told...
Yeah, I messaged Brian because I was like, he told me to call him and now he's not answering.
Yeah, I kind of... I mean, I passed out, but I kind of didn't pass out. I just kind of go meditate. You know what I mean? And
yeah, I don't get like the pins and needles, but I get like my chest.
Oh my God, my really whole body goes like pins, like you know when your arm falls asleep, from fucking my whole body experiences it.
I feel like you've seen Inception, right?
Never.
No. You ever see the trailer for Inception?
Where the whole world turns upside down.
Yeah. So it feels like it's happening. It feels like everything just shifts. Like, and I just feel like, not that I'm necessarily dizzy. It feels like the world around me is like just spinning.
Yeah.
And then my heart starts racing, and I feel this incredible urge to just get the fuck out of wherever I'm at.
Yeah, that's how
Yeah.
I get like, and I get like that tunnel, like,
Yeah.
and then my chest,
That's
my
happened to
heart.
me.
Yeah.
I get the tunnel. You know when a movie starts and it's like boom.
Mhm.
It hits you like that.
That's what it feels
Yeah,
like.
that's what it feels like, and then everything goes into tunnel vision, and then I get the pins and needles, and then I get really, really lightheaded, and I feel like I'm swaying, but I'm not swaying, and then I feel like everyone's staring at me, and then my anxiety kicks in more because I feel like I look like I'm an idiot, and then I just like I got to get out of here.
Yeah, when I'm like in public, like I've noticed it happening more after like all the pandemic stuff, like going back into the crowds and stuff. Like I get that feeling, I get the tunnel vision, like, and I just feel like I don't know what to do with myself, and I get so weird. And
Yeah. So there's a little thing that I didn't think I was going to talk about, but there it is.
see, you're not the only one.
Yeah, but that's just kind of.
It's more common than you think.
Yeah, but I'm a fucking huge male toxic dude who still struggles with
like
that.
so incredibly like relatable because I used to be that toxic guy. Like I'm like, yeah, you have anxiety, you're a pussy. Like I was like that until I got anxiety, and when it hit me so bad.
I still have the anxiety. I never had anxiety as bad as I do now, but I also didn't have. I would say the pressure I have now, where like I like this podcast, like I take this seriously, and then not only just the podcast, but like working. Like I grew up just absolutely adoring and loving professional wrestling.
Sure.
And the fact that I'm behind the curtain is still insane to me. Like I don't know if it'll ever go away. And then when I'm there, I'm like, fucking don't fuck up. Don't fuck up. Don't fuck up. I hope it goes away a little bit so I stop having these anxiety attacks. But
I think part of that goes back to like the upbringing though. Like you're brought up to like it's not okay to mess up when like it is okay. Like it's okay for people to mess up.
I probably shouldn't say this, but I don't care. I literally took a screenshot of my thing on Apple and sent it in our family chat and got a thumbs up. That was it. Yeah, that stung a little. Fucking right.
Got lots of issues.
Yeah, I need a therapist.
You
Therapy.
probably
This. Fucking. All right, let's get out of here. Kilowatt, what do you have to plug? So, it went from thanking the fans to like, hey, I have issues. Check me out.
We all have issues.
You support a fucking psychopath. Go ahead.
Yeah. All right, so here's what I want to plug. Check out this nationally ranked fucking podcast called the Tornado Tag Podcast. It's the tits.
We try.
Tits.
And thank you to the
tits are dope. I have
Dragon. Yeah.
I do too. Let me find that guy again. I want to thank that person again for
Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, 87 or something like that. Dragon Dude 78. Thank you so much for that review. If you are listening and you made it this far, if you listen any platform you listen, I know not every platform allows you to write a review. I know Facebook allows reviews. I know if you Google something, you can leave a review on it. If you do listen on Apple, please, it helps. I know people who just put the 5 stars, which is cool too. But if you do listen, if you start putting stuff on, we're going to read it. Like I want to make that a habit of reading people's comments or reading people's posts. If you are on YouTube, leave a comment if you're watching it. I want to read it in the next episode to acknowledge you because we really appreciate it. Someone just sent me a photo today. They just bought a t-shirt, which is really cool. That made my day. So I literally 3 or 4 things hit me today. And before I even found out that I got ranked, I had like people sending me pictures of them and their merchandise and people reaching out and saying they really liked the episode. And a professional wrestler reached out and said, hey man, I really appreciate you putting me over on the podcast. So like all that hit me all today and it was really emotional. And I fucking can't thank you enough. Seriously. You don't know how much a comment or reaching out or just saying, I appreciate this episode or I hated it. I know I have like 1 or 2 people who go and thumbs down everything I do. And that's cool. That does like engagement's engagement, but I put a lot into this and this isn't like a sad story for you to like me more. I try to be as
it's not like the ending of The Notebook.
Yeah, I try to be just literally as open, upfront, and honest with my audience, my friends, my family, the people who are part of this network. Sometimes I probably ramble and I try to change stuff up too much, or I ask people too many questions where things are going good. And that goes with everything I told you about earlier that I struggle with. So I really want to thank everyone who's on the IWP network. This is the first time we've ever been ranked. It's super cool, and I hope it happens to the rest of our network. And it can, if you guys can do the same thing again and just maybe show some support. If you're into pop culture or all those other things we talked about, go support those other shows. Welcome Back, Hireth of the Words, Bangin' Beers, all of it. I'll give out one more teaser right here, right now. Well, there are two things. We started a street team. So if this is something you're passionate about and you like our content and you want to join our street team, and pretty much all this, if it doesn't have to be technically a street team, but if you go out and buy some stickers or whatever, you can go do that. But for the most part, our street team is more of a social media based thing. We have a private group on Facebook. I don't invite people to it. You just join it and tell us why you want to help out. And if literally all it would be is like, hey, you're like, just go find our Spotify link and share it to places, like just spread the word of mouth, and it really, really helps. So we have the IWEP Network Street Team that you can join and help out. We may have a special logo coming soon made by the Kilowatt there. That will be a private link that you can only get if you're part of the street team. And we'll have like a special t-shirt that only you guys can get.
It looks like he just found out about this.
No, he knew.
I just didn't. I knew, but I didn't know.
Yeah. And then
now you know.
The last thing here is, not only Not Cool in High School is coming back, but so is Truth Behind Illusion, and it will be myself, professional wrestler Andy Heder, WYLN TV champion, PPW champion.
Is that
Andy
a thing
Heder.
anymore with Fight TV?
Yeah.
They're still promoting WYLN?
Yeah.
I'm very confused.
Maybe it'll be the WYLN/Fight TV champion.
But if it's still on WYLN, why are you going to pay for it on Fight?
I don't know. I'm not on that side of the coin.
Check them out.
And also Tori is coming back to Truth Behind Illusion, which is super exciting because she helped me create it. And I'm going to announce right now that we have gotten contact. We are going back to the old jail. The jail reached out to us. We're going to go back and record an episode inside the Jim Thorpe prison, which is very exciting. The owner pretty much told us the first time we were there that they had a really good time and they would like us to be returning guests. And we just took it with a grain of salt and said, if it happens, that'd be amazing. And they were not joking. They reached out and we're going to go back in October. We're going to make a full day out of it. We have some people who reached out besides Nikolai who want to be photographers for the podcast, who want to come with us to certain events or maybe come with us to wrestling shows or come with us to on location podcasts and take photos and document cool moments that we can share on social media and put out content, which is really, really exciting and we're super thankful for. So we'll probably bring a photographer with us and maybe the whole day trip to Jim Thorpe, we'll take a bunch of cool pictures. And then when we finally get inside the prison, Doug walk around and snap some photos and we'll be able to document it and show you guys all this fun stuff. So yeah, there's really neat things happening on the network just besides making episodes for you people. We have a lot of fun stuff. We have a lot of fun stuff and a lot of really cool things that we're striving to be better at. And if you have any cool ideas, like I said, reach out to us. If you want to leave a comment, send it below. Thank you all so fucking much. I love you all more than you even know. And I want to love you more. So tell me who you are. I listen, I see all the numbers. I see people who watch. I see people watch all the way to the end. And I have no idea who you are. Please tell me so I can acknowledge you and love you and hug you and so truly show that I care about your support so much. And that's it. That's all I got. Check out the High Tension Wrestling Network as well. Moran and Friends podcast is also ranked 126th. Let's bump them up with us. I want us to be like holding hands as we climb the charts. So support the High Tension Wrestling Network. Support Moran and Friends podcast. I will be on Moran and Friends podcast this season. I'm excited about it. I get to sit down with someone I will consider a best friend now. Like I got really close to Johnny recently. The guy's fucking killing it. I know he doesn't want us.
Thought he was gonna say me.
No, I mean you've been my best friend forever too. But I've gotten closer to Johnny because of you. And I know he doesn't want us to talk about it or bring it up because he thinks it's lame, but it's fucking not. The dude's belt collecting. every promotion he's going to, he's winning a championship because he fucking deserves it, and because he's a goddamn superstar, and he's the dark horse because everyone fucking counted him out, and I love it. And he took it and he put a chip on his shoulder and he's dominating the world, and the guy deserves everything he gets. Please, NWA, AEW Dark, reach out to this guy, get him booked. Tweet, everyone tweet. If you're listening to this and you made it this far, fuck supporting us. Tweet anyone who will listen about Johnny Moran getting booked places and get him on TV, because that guy fucking deserves it.
I support that.
Let's just like this is the best way I can describe it. What I want to do in this world is I want to be the next Adam Sandler. I don't want to make movies. I just want to be a podcaster. I want to be a network, and I want to bring all my fucking friends with me.
That's right.
You know what I mean? I want to support everybody. I'm sorry, when Adam Sandler makes a movie and he has all of his friends in every single movie and it looks like they have generally a good time making it, I want to do that with my friends. I don't want money to be a problem for me or anyone around me, and like we can just go and enjoy life. No more 9 to 5s, you know. Yeah, life's too short. And people who are supporting, thank you so much. I know I said it 1,000 times, but it's the title of the episode. Thank you. Seriously, thank you. I love you all. Here's some Billy Trey. We'll see you next time.